That tune's mad still. Have you heard it?
What?
Have you heard that tune?
Have you started already?
Cock it up and a dump and chat.
No, I haven't heard the tune.
You're a liar. We just listened to it on your sofa.
What, we listened to like 30 seconds? I haven't heard the whole tune, bro.
You smell like mints, man.
This is
But
what
anyway.
I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Bro, you didn't even tell me when you're starting. This is what I'm saying.
All right, we're starting. What's going on, people? Welcome to the Big Talk podcast hosted by your boy Biggs, Bigzz. I'm here with an entrepreneur, my younger brother, also a religious man, family man. How's it going, Nathan?
Yeah.
How are you today?
All good, man. All good. Thanks for having me here.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Always
I like what you're
welcome.
doing, man. I like this. It's good.
Yeah,
the setup's clean.
The setup's clean. Just trying to give the people a voice, you know? Give the people a voice. Because people like to talk and people want people to hear their voice and listen to what they got to say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what you been up to today, man?
Yeah, it's just it's a hot day. Like
So
it's
hot.
hot today.
Proper.
So I was playing football in this blazing heat, which was alright. Like
Yeah.
pre-season fitness.
hmm
So yeah, it was alright. It was good. What about yourself?
Me?
You chilling, innit?
No, I've been...
None.
No, not even, man. I've been preparing for this podcast.
Okay, takes it
Yeah.
seriously, peeps. Takes it
No,
serious.
it's a
Not
real
joke.
thing, bro. You gotta actually pattern everything up, as in the microphones, the
Yeah.
camera,
Yeah.
the cables, the laptop. Make sure it's got charge. Make sure battery charge. It's so easy to forget little things,
Yeah,
as
yeah.
in wires and random stuff.
Yeah.
Even like making sure you're hydrated.
No, it's true.
Like, man's old now. I gotta make sure I'm hydrated and shit.
Yeah.
Make sure that I'm like, I ain't got red eye and I'm up to the job.
Yeah, no, I like the setup, man. So I
Thank
see
you.
Took the time.
Thank you.
Mm,
So yeah, so you're an entrepreneur
to an extent.
to an extent. How did you get into that field? Entrepreneurship.
I think it was just a natural skill that I've always had, but I wouldn't. So I still work full time, but I'm contracting, a little bit complicated. And then I have my own business. So I wouldn't go, oh yeah, I'm just an entrepreneur. I'm a few different things. But in terms of, my first business venture was my eBay venture
Yes.
just over 10 years ago when I was like 15.
Yes.
That was like my first way of making money on my own kind of thing.
Yeah. And what did you sell when you was doing your eBay venture?
Everything. Your trainers got sold.
Yeah. I was just gonna make a mad joke, but I'm gonna leave that out. I caught the joke and threw it away.
You could.
Man said he sold everything. Well, yeah. Okay.
I was selling everything in the house.
Yeah.
Like shoes, trainers, football boots. Sold my football boots, your football boots.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much how I made a few £100s, and it made me realize, okay, if I want to make some money,
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was on my own back. No one told me to do anything.
Yeah.
So that was like my first venture, I would say.
Okay. Positive. And what do you know? Do you remember how much you made off selling those
I can't
goods?
remember exactly. It was a few hundred though. It wasn't like, oh, cheeky 100. I think I made like, I'll be guessing probably around five.
500.
Yeah.
£500.
I think so.
That's 5 cheeky £100.
Yeah. 5 cheeky ones.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
and you were 15.
Yeah.
That's
Over a
mad,
period
Pete.
of time. It wasn't just happened. It was
What? How long are we talking? A year?
6 months, that kind of thing.
Okay. So your annual turnover was 500, and it was all profit because you were selling other people's goods.
Well, I was selling your stuff and then my stuff, and that was it.
And at that time, I guess Mum was buying your stuff.
Mum was buying it.
I guess she bought the stuff that you sold.
No. So it was secondhand goods. I was selling secondhand goods.
Yeah, but the stuff that you were
Oh,
selling, I
originally, yeah,
guess,
originally.
mum bought it. So
Yeah. Profit, yeah, pretty much.
that's a nice little P, though.
Mm.
Okay, well, you took the money to school and balled out, bought
No,
everyone
just
chicken burgers.
chicken burgers. Nah, just I can't remember what I did with the money. Like, really can't remember. But I know I had a bank account at the time.
Hmm.
I wasn't quick to spend the money. So as and when something came up,
Yeah, you just bought what it
yeah.
was.
And I think there was quite a few eBay fees as well, which was creeping into the profits
Mm,
that I didn't see, and they started creeping up quite often. So
okay.
that was a factor as well. That I was just like, okay, if I'm going to do this seriously,
Yeah,
I need to like understand why I'm getting charged these different fees.
the overheads.
Yeah, didn't expect the overheads at all.
Okay. So moving on from eBay, what was the next hustle after that?
So from there, I went on to, I think I was around 17. That's when I had my next venture. 16,
Okay.
17, but it wasn't just my venture. So I'm quite heavily involved in church.
Yes.
And then our pastor, props to him, we endeavored to have a new building because we were renting at the time. So he's quite entrepreneurial himself. So he split us up into groups.
Yeah.
And then within those groups, we were tasked to raise some money, basically.
Yeah.
Which was quite exciting at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was good fun. So everyone was doing different things, from sports days to fun days for the kids.
Yeah.
And then our group, we chose to do a event, so a concert basically. But it was with like a chilled out vibe, and it went really well, like very, very well.
What was it called?
Gospel Blend.
I remember the one there.
Yeah. So that went really well, and the money went towards the church, etc. And we were just like, you know what?
Hold on a minute.
Yeah. And for me as well,
yeah,
I made these T-shirts, and then I sold the T-shirts, and the T-shirts were sold out. The concert was sold out. So all of it together, it was just like, oh, we smashed it.
We've done something here.
Yeah,
like, hold on a minute. We've got a little business going on.
Yeah. And then from there, I pioneered like the next fundraising event for our group, which was a football tournament. Obviously, I'm involved in football, and I was a football coach at the time. Yeah. So it was just quite natural. And then that went well as well. When we made a bit of money, we didn't make loads. Yeah. But it was like I was the person that organised with the Power League. Yeah. Negotiated the fees with the Power League, brought all the bibs, organised the teams, got the teams to sign up, transfer the money. So it worked, and I was like, I actually
remember.
Something.
Yeah, I remember the Power League. Yeah, we sponsored you.
You sponsored me?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
We sponsored you with waters. Remember?
Oh yeah, you did.
AG Silver.
Yeah. The water.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that.
You forget?
Yeah. You had the water.
Granddad voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So people supported, like you supported. Yeah.
It was a nice vibe.
It was really, really good vibe. That was a really good day.
Even saw old faces. Like one guy you used to go primary school with.
Is it?
Yeah. Harry? Yeah.
Mike?
Yeah, you.
Oh yeah.
Your guy.
Yeah. No, yeah. True. There was loads of.
Have you seen him since?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was just for that you just saw him and just...
No, we still talk. Cool. So it was good. Like that was a good session. Like I bought a trophy. It just worked.
So what? Have you carried on doing it, or did you?
It was just a one-off.
That's it.
It worked well.
Yeah.
At the time, it was a one-off. I could do it again if I wanted to, but it gave me the confidence to be like, I could do it if I want to.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
That gave
got a
me
bit cocky with it, did you?
Pardon?
Got a bit cocky.
Not even cocky, because I didn't do it again, did I?
No, but you're like, I can do it if I want to.
Yeah, not cocky. It's more the confidence. Like with being an entrepreneur or doing any sort of business venture, I feel like your confidence because you're coming out of your comfort zone,
Yeah.
you won't have. Some people find it very difficult to get the confidence to do certain things.
Yeah.
And then once you've been through, whether it's a small or big experience, it gives you that boost to say, you know what, let me go again, or let me try something else, or I could do that if I wanted to do that again. So that's all it is. It's not. I wouldn't call it arrogance because it could mess up.
I totally agree, though, but with the confidence point, because unless you have confidence, forget about it.
It's too hard.
Like, if you don't have any and someone's telling you your product's rubbish and they hate it, they're allowed to have their opinion. And if you take that personally and you just start crying and arguing with everyone that says your product's rubbish, you forget about it.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. I think a lot of people don't go off, like, they might have the skills, the expertise to pull off something, but they just don't have the confidence to go and do it.
Yeah, that's
and that in itself hinders people from being the best version of themselves. Do you know what I mean? And I just, for me as well, I'm a big person on experience, so I feed off my own experience. If I've done something, I get a little bit of a boost where I go, oh, you know, I can do this again.
Yeah.
And then I go again, kind of thing. But if I haven't done it before, it's like, it may work, it may not, I'll try.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So I think it gave me the confidence boost to think, you know what,
I have got something, got a skill set, put it out into the world. Let's make some peasy.
Let's go, yeah. So
moving on from there, what was the next business idea, or what was the next job, or where did you go from there?
So from there, I was at university. I wanted to be an accountant. So I was at university when I did that, first year, I think. And then from there, I still wanted to, I wasn't too sure what I wanted to do. And then after doing quite a bit of research, I ended up being a property manager.
Yeah.
So I thought I was good at organising from my experiences, and I wanted to get into property. So I put the two together, property management. Done. So I just applied for every job that I can find, and I got a job in my second year of uni, and that's when I really got the exposure of, I want to be in property, and I got the exposure of what it is to run a business as well, which was good. Very, very good.
Because the person that you was doing the property management with, they were actually an independent business themselves, right?
Yeah, so independent business owner who it was just him.
Yeah.
And he employed me, and he pretty much mentored me throughout the whole process. And that exposure to understanding how business works.
Yeah.
He's very systematic in what he does, very strategic.
Yeah.
And we're very, very different. And so I was able to learn how to systemize a business. So like in my actual degree, I learned about systemization.
Okay.
And when I learned about systemization, it went over my head.
Yeah.
And I remember writing an essay about McDonald's.
Yeah.
And like how they systemize their business. It's very, very streamlined.
Yeah.
But all of it went over my head.
Yeah.
The whole thing, until I was actually doing it.
Yeah.
Then I was like, oh, this is what it's about. You need systems. If you haven't got your systems, it's very difficult to run a business successfully.
So when you say systems, are you talking about like CRM systems?
Not even CRMs. It's more to do with, it's a good point. So it's more about the logistics of how, the operations of how you're running the business.
Yeah.
So.
Go on, talking.
Yeah, so going back to systems, in terms of what systems we were implementing, it's really small things that make the difference.
Okay.
So like, all right, say if a tenant, so I was in charge of lettings for the company.
Yeah.
So lettings requires me to advertise the rooms.
Yeah.
And then when I advertise them, meet the tenant at the property and try and get them to take on the room. Yeah. At the time, because I was doing HMOs, housing and multiple occupancy. So when I was doing that, we had to make a system for that in terms of how do we save me the most amount of time as possible. So how can I save time in this? So we've got a virtual assistant to answer all the questions on the advertisement. So if anyone inquired, I didn't get the inquiry. They passed my number on to them, the person who inquired, and then from there I was able to get a text message. So everything was just by text rather than me going online, answering messages, and then coming back to my phone, answering messages, things like that.
Very time consuming.
Yeah. So how do we get from the we use spare room? So from spare room to a text message to a viewing to them taking the room to them then going through referencing to them moving in. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, you want that to be seamless, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Right? You want it to be
the smoother
quick.
it is, the better your system. That is a system. How do you execute that? What is your system for that? So I was involved in systemizing, so it helps me understand, oh, this is important.
Yeah.
This is how it works, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think we're similar in that aspect, man. Like, until I put what's on paper into action, it's just paper to me. It's just paper with ink on it. It's literally just, it doesn't mean anything to me until the action is taken. So yeah, that makes total sense. So, and then with this guy, what's his name?
What?
What's his name? The guy,
Charlie.
Okay. Do you wanna plug his business?
So his business. He's a renter. So he's also a mentor as well. So yeah, if you want to get in touch with him, just get in touch with me. His company's called Ray Smith Property. So I'm sure you'll be happy for me to just pass on your details, and he's happy to help people for sure. Yeah. Obviously, you might charge if you want proper help. So
yeah. Okay, so we're going from. So you was setting up the BMVs. You were setting up the HMOs.
Yeah, I was involved in everything. So the company was a rent-to-rent company. Yeah. So rent-to-rent is where we are pretty much subletting. So we guarantee the rent to the landlord. So we become the tenant to the landlord, and then we then rent to someone else. Yeah. So yeah.
And that's HMOs.
That's rent-to-rent.
Rent-to-rent. Yeah. And then explain to them the difference between rent-to-rent and HMO.
Okay, so a HMO is a house of multiple occupancy. Yeah. Typically, it's 3 people or more that are not related. Okay. That live in the property. And that's what is classed as a HMO. Yeah. So you might have a 5-bedroom property, and then each individual room is rented to five different individuals who are not related, might be working professionals or students or whatever it may be. And then typically you need a license for that. Yeah. And then a rent-to-rent doesn't. So typically it's when you guarantee the rent to the landlord and then rent it out to these tenants. And most of the time it's a HMO that it works with. So you might have a 4-bedroom property and 4 different tenants. Yeah. And they're all on separate contracts, but they have a contract for their room, but they share the facilities in the house. So the kitchen, the bathroom, etc. Got you.
Yeah. So it's just a bag of man in the house. And you just all got to make it work. Yeah. It's just like a big family that don't know each other from nowhere.
It's different. That's why there's a skill to it in terms of matching people. Yeah. So
must be.
When you get it right, you get it right. When you get it wrong, you have problems. Yeah. So if you're putting a 40-year-old man with an 18-year-old girl, with a 30-year-old man, with another 40-year-old man, it just doesn't make sense because you've got an 18-year-old and then 2 40-year-olds. It just
sounds way out.
Yeah. So what we will try to do is, okay, if we have people in their 20s, try and stick to people in your 20s. If it's all girls and they're happy being with all girls, try to stick to all girls because they feel comfortable walking around their home in a certain way and stuff like that. So you just got to be a little bit street smart with it.
Common sense.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say street smart.
The wrong word.
Like,
yeah, common sense. I'll call it common sense as well. I'll call it common sense.
Yeah, because it's like, yeah, you wouldn't put someone that's, say, like 60, you know what I'm saying, with someone that's 20, coming in late, banging doors, smoking weed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Drinking beers.
They don't have to smoke weed, but
that's what kids do these days, isn't it?
Yeah, but
bringing back the Woodstock kind of vibe. People are, bruv, I swear, I was in Sainsbury's the other day, and this guy had a whole, like, the Woodstock look, like the belt. His jeans were flared at the bottom. He had on these brown shoes. It was a guy, the brother had on heels.
Oh,
yeah, I saw your face. Okay. No, but they were like them old school vibe. Like men used to wear shoes with heels.
The platform kind
of thing. Like
I've seen. Yeah. That was in, what was that, the 70s?
Yeah. When that festival Woodstock was going on, the guy had like a whole tea cozy hat on. I was like, yeah. So people bringing the weed vibes back, and weed is legal now.
What do you mean?
Weed is legal in a lot of places now.
Yeah, I've heard.
A lot of places, like it's even on a stock exchange. Like weed is not. They're really trying to not make it that that Class A vibe. That
I don't know.
You'll be like, it's become like much more of a health product now. The CBD is legal now.
I've heard.
I've even got a review on CBD. It's legal.
Yeah, I'm not really into that, but okay, fair enough.
You heard of CBD?
Yeah, you told me about it.
Yeah. No, you should, like, it's legal. Like, it's literally in Holland and Barrett.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. If it's in Holland and Barrett, it's really legal. Like, Holland and Barrett is like the equivalent to Waitrose.
Yeah, for the health.
Yeah, like, it's the equivalent. It's the UK, Her Majesty's.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Anyway, so moving on. So you're hustling. You're doing the HMOs, rent-to-rents with your guy Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
Was that going well?
Yeah, it was going really well. After a while, you kind of understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Because it's quite repetitive. Same thing.
Just
same
like
tenants
everything.
Moving out. Same old issues.
Yeah.
The door handle broke. Okay.
I remember you had issues. People always calling you about. Yeah. Them little buggers.
Yeah, just calling, and it will be at any time as well, because the issue is an issue, right? So just managing that. You
can't get away from mice though, man.
Yeah, the mice. Mice everywhere.
You can't get away from them, man. They're everywhere. If you're in London, how close are you to a mouse? I read.
I think it's like 2 meters or something silly. Like
Nah, man.
It was silly, yeah.
The way you said 2 meters because of this COVID thing, it's like, 2 meter distance.
Social distance from the
social distance from the mouse. 2 meters. Yeah, you can't get away from them. But okay, you're dealing with people.
Yeah, dealing with the same issues. So you get, and then for me, I was in a space where I was like, okay, where can I get some more money?
Mm-hmm.
How can I hustle and make some more money? Because I had a bit of time.
Yeah.
I was working from home. It was a little bit flexible, which was really good. So from there, I started a deal sourcing business. But when I started deal sourcing, I fell into it.
Okay.
Which was pretty much a godsend. So my fiance, who's now my wife now, she signed us up for an event.
Yeah.
I was like, why are we going? Like, I didn't really want to go. So we went to the event anyway.
Yeah.
From that event, I told people what I was... So we went to the event. They kind of opened our eyes to deal source, and we're like, whoa, this sounds decent.
Yeah.
We can make 2-3 grand selling this, that, and the other. So wow. So it was opening our eyes.
Yes.
And then afterwards, we were like kind of buzzing. So we're like, oh, let's network, like let's meet people and see what's going on. So we met with a few people, and then they're like, so what do you do?
Yeah.
And I was like, this thing called rent to rent, but I didn't know if anyone was interested in it. I was just telling them what I do.
Yeah.
Then they went, "Oh, I want to do rent to rent. I want to do rent." It's like, I
All
wanna
this
do-
demand for rent to rent.
I was like, well, it's just rent to rent. Like, it's
You
not
gotta
that deep.
chill.
Yeah, chill
It's
out,
not
man.
that deep.
But from there, I was like, okay. But what are you guys doing? You guys look like you're making money, deal sourcing.
Yeah.
And then they're showing me the deals, and then I'm like, oh, you're making money. But anyway, it came to a point where it was like, okay, I have something that I didn't know I had.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people are like that as well.
Yeah.
They don't know what they have and they can't see the opportunity.
Yeah.
And that goes back to my point about entrepreneurship. It's about seeing the opportunity and running with it and having the confidence to run with it. So I was like, I'm onto something here. I didn't know that people need this. So they were like, can you find me a rent to rent? I was like, yeah, I do all the time.
Yeah.
Like normal. So that's when I was like, yeah, okay, I'm going to go to more of these networking events. So I went to another one, met more people.
Yeah.
And then I remember the meeting that I had with one of them after the networking event, because she had, what did she have? She had around 8 to 10 rent to rents. So she's a good person to work with if you're deal sourcing. So she sent me her criteria and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, piece of cake, do it all the time.
Yeah.
And then from there, she was like my first client, and then I negotiated fees with her and stuff.
Yeah.
But the fees were off, like way off. Do you want to pause it? No, you might as well pause it. What happened?
It's annoying that it's not charging bastards. All right, cool. We're back.
Cool. So, so one of the people that I met at my second networking event, so I realized lots of people are doing deal sourcing, but my niche was I knew rent to rent quite well. I was, a year to 2 years into it.
Yeah.
So I had enough experience. I'd found rent to rents for our own portfolio as well. So when they're like, oh, can you find one? I'm like, yeah, not a problem.
All the time, I do this.
Yeah, we do this every day. It's normal.
It's my team.
So from there, I met with one of the ladies there. She said, we negotiated fees. I didn't know what to charge, so I just made it up. And I said to her at the time, oh, I'll charge 1,200. Her eyes lit up.
Yeah.
She's like, what? But she didn't say anything. She was just like, ah. But I was like, did I say the wrong thing?
Yeah.
Later on, I realized it was dirt cheap. That's why her eyes lit up. But either way, it was just the beginning of something completely new. So from there, I didn't do a deal with her for at least a year.
Yeah.
It took me ages to do. It took me a long time to get my feet within deal sourcing.
Yeah.
I think it took me like 4 months to get my first deal and stuff like that. But
is there any advice that you'll give anyone that wants to get into deal sourcing?
Yeah. So if you're trying to get into deal sourcing, it's a business. So if you've got time for a new business, then definitely go for it. But it's a sales business. Yeah. It's purely sales.
Yeah.
So if you're not a salesman or a marketeer, I think
you'll struggle.
Yeah. And that's not to take away from people that are not may be able to do it as well. But it's a sales job. Yeah. And it's just a grind and a hustle, if I'm honest. And the start is the hardest bit, and you've got to be in it for the long run, because from my experience, it just doesn't happen straight away.
Yeah.
I thought it would happen straight away because I remember my director at the time, Charlie, he was like, oh yeah, we need a new rent to rent. I made like 5 phone calls.
Yeah.
One of them clicked, went to view it the next day, and we took it on like the next week. Like, it just worked.
Yeah.
So sometimes it can work like that, and then other times it just won't click.
It will just be a
You're just
slow boat to China, so to speak.
you're just traveling up and down London,
Yeah.
viewing different properties, sending emails to random people,
Yeah.
trying to get new clients, trying to do this, trying to do that. People trying to cut you out of deals,
Yeah.
just all kinds of things going on. Trying to get them to sign NDAs. They don't want to send an NDA, but you know there'll be a good buyer. And where can I find landlords? Where can I get a good deal from? It's long.
Yeah, that sounds long.
It's long.
Well, and then have you been deal sourcing during this COVID-19 pandemic?
No, so I stopped deals. So this is going back to 2016.
Okay, you don't do that anymore.
Deal sourcing, I do it as and when.
Okay.
So I was doing it quite heavily at the time.
Yeah.
But I've slowed that down now.
Yeah.
Because it's not my main focus. Deal sourcing for rent to rent was my focus at the time.
Got you.
It's not what I'm on anymore.
Yeah.
I'm more about cash flow, because deal sourcing, the cash flow, unless you're doing deals every month, it's not great.
Yeah.
And then I'm about other things now. I'm about development and things like that.
Okay, cool. So do you want to elaborate just a bit more on property development, what that means, so people that don't know?
Yeah. So at the moment, I work for an agency, and we sell anything with development potential. So assets like commercial buildings that can be knocked down and built into flats, to land with planning, without planning, pubs, leisure centre, whatever it is, hotels, we get involved in. That's what I'm doing at the moment.
Is that a lucrative business?
Yeah. There's proper money in that.
Okay.
I'd say.
So someone that's thinking of getting into that field of work, is there any advice you would tell them on how to get their first steps?
It really depends on where you're at the moment. So, for example, if you are 18 or 19 and you're about to go to university, my suggestion, if you are really serious about property, is to look at a property-related degree. So, especially one that is accredited by RICS, the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors. I would suggest doing that because it's easier to get into the corporate industry.
Yeah.
Without that, it's quite difficult to get in the corporate industry. I haven't got a RICS accredited degree, so I've had to go pretty much the long route round in terms of getting into development, and I've been a bit fortunate in terms of someone's able to. I've had someone that's willing to invest the time to train me and get me up to speed, but realistically, you need a degree, or if you don't have a degree, or you're further along in life and you've got property experience, etc., and you're looking to do your own developments, I would say just educate yourself as much as possible before you do it. And just get in the mix.
Get in the mix.
Get in there.
Yeah. Get in there, son.
Yeah, and just meet people that are doing it, pick their brains.
Yeah.
People try and pick my brains about HMOs and stuff. People are willing to give out information if you ask.
Yeah.
Especially go on YouTube. Just get to understand it and just be in the mix. Mix with people, network. Even in this COVID situation, there's opportunities to network.
Yeah.
Online and Zoom meetings and all kinds of things. So just get involved, and then after a while, it'll take a while, but things will start to click, and you'll start to get to know the basics.
Yeah.
Which I think is quite important with this kind of industry, I think.
Most definitely. I do think literally getting in the mix of what you're saying, and networking is definitely a big key to any type of business venture, any type of field you want to get into. That was a very good point.
Yeah. I think as well, like, for some people, it's really out their comfort zone to do that, though.
Yes, that's another issue, though.
Yeah, that's a completely separate issue.
Completely.
It coincides being an entrepreneur or trying to start something new. It's a hindering factor for a lot of people. Like if you go to, all right, you say get in the mix. I say get in the mix, but you go to the networking event, you don't know who to speak to or what to say to them.
Yeah.
You don't. Do you know what I mean? And you just freeze up and end up standing in the corner, not saying much or doing much.
Yeah, I've seen that guy before.
I've seen that guy.
And you're just like, what is he saying? That's strange.
Yeah, but it's just.
Did he just come here to observe
I
and
see
eat the
that
free
guy.
biscuits?
Yeah, it's the free biscuits and the coffee.
Yeah, like, what's he? Did he come for just the freebies?
Yeah, but it's not. It's not even that. It's just some people are a bit nervous, and it's even just going to the networking event is a step for them.
Yeah,
and I appreciate that, because even though that's not necessarily me, because I've always had an agenda. When I went to a networking event, I had an agenda, not like, oh, I'm here to do this or I'm here to do that, but I just had my own personal thinking. Okay, why am I going to this networking event?
Yeah,
I am going here to just hear what the speaker's going to say.
Yeah,
Or I'm going to this networking event just in case I meet someone that is in my field that could help.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to this networking event because I have nothing else to do, and it's good to socialize with like-minded people. Like, you just go
there
and have your own personal agenda, in a sense where you have a target,
some type of plan, some type of objective, some type of motive.
So if your objective is, I need to speak to someone that has done rent to rent, or I need to speak to someone that's done property development, I'm going to have to search the room to find that person, or whatever it may be. So some of the times when I had those sort of objectives, I'll be like, okay, I need to speak to 2-3 people where I can build business contacts, or 2-3 people that are actively looking for rent to rents, or actively looking for development sites, or whatever it may be. I just made sure I had some form of target.
Yeah.
And I think that would help that person that is a bit shy and it's a bit out of their comfort zone, you know?
Definitely. Because what do they say, that famous saying, fail to plan, plan to fail.
Yeah. Preparation is key. So it's not even, it's like, you don't have to write down targets to go to a networking event. Like, it's not that deep. Yeah, it's not that serious, but it's just...
But you know what helps me? Like, if I'm on the way to somewhere, on the way to an event, I'll just start speaking to people. Like, just random people. Like, if you're in a taxi,
you do a warm up.
Just talk to the taxi man about the event you're going to, and just let him know why you're going there, because he's gonna want to chat to you. Taxi man always want to chat, innit?
They love a chat.
Like chat about the cat, the dog. My dog ate me, my slippers.
My slippers.
Yeah, what? I don't care about your slippers. But he's been talking like that all day, so he's got the fluidity to just speak and just chat to anything.
Anyone that comes in,
just chat to people.
Yeah.
And obviously, depending on the time or day, sometimes.
Yeah.
Just talking to someone at the bus stop, you might come across a bit strange, but chat to anyone. Yeah,
I think just coming out of your comfort zone in your own way. You know, do you know what I mean? Like, that's your way of warming up for the networking event. Yeah. I personally wouldn't do something like that, but the way I warm up is I would speak to maybe the person that organised the event, the main speaker, because they are always the most open, because they've been speaking the whole day and they are the face of it. Yeah. So I'd speak to them first to warm me up. Just be like, okay, warmed up. Spoke to the main guy. Yeah. All right. And then I'll get them to maybe recommend someone I can speak to, because I've told them what I'm doing and stuff like that. So
just get out there, man.
Just get out there.
Yeah, get out there, man. Go to the bus stop. Get in a taxi. Just get out there with an agenda, with a, you know what I'm saying? With a plan, an objective, and you'll succeed. Yeah, and look, practical advice, I would say, is what I used to use is Meetup. Meetup was good for networking events. I remember that app, yeah. Eventbrite was good for networking events. If you just type in whatever you're doing, so let's say you're looking for a property networking event, in this case, type in property networking event in your area, and then, or in Google, and then there's like a feed that will come up with different ones on different days and stuff like that. Obviously, that's when once things have died down, etc., with COVID, but that's how I practically go about
getting in the mix.
Yeah, man, that's some positive words, man, for people out there that are wanting to get into the property market or just getting out there and just want to network with people about maybe a product or anything.
Yeah.
Or their business model.
100%.
It's a good look. And so you went from going to the deal source, the rent to rent events, HMO events, and then you moved on to, where did you go from there?
So from rent to rent, I moved on to property development. Yeah. So I did spend like a year in just property sales, general property sales, and that's when I actually registered my limited company. Actually thought, okay, I want to take the deal sourcing on the side as seriously as possible. Got all my insurances in place, became fully compliant, and was ready to go. In my first year, I realized I didn't really have a lot of time for deal sourcing. So I ended up doing 2 deals, and it was pretty much from old contacts.
Okay.
So because of that, it was like, okay, that's all right, but can I do more? How can I increase my cash flow? Because the cash flow was a bit poor. But from doing, the cash flow is poor. You're doing 2 deals, right? So from there, because before that I was doing a lot more, but I had more time. Do you see what I mean? I was doing more deals, but I had more time. Now I didn't have much time for deal sourcing because you need to be going to the viewings and stuff like that. So it was like, you've only done 2 deals. What are you doing? I think, February I did a deal of that year, and then I did a deal in June. Yeah. So it was like those 2 months, and
nothing. Coming after that.
And I wrote out a business plan. I was ready. I was ready and raring to go. I was going to spend money on marketing. I was speaking to digital marketers, and I was ready to invest some time and money into it, but I just didn't have the time. So from there, I started a new job, which I'm still in today, where I was but I'm technically contracting. So I run everything's run through my business basically. And that is land sourcing basically. So property development,
there is that
land agency, however you want to chop it up, but I would call that the highest level of deal sourcing, because it's the same principle.
And how many deals would you get per year if you're dealing with deal sourcing in land?
It depends. People.
What's the highest number that you've heard of, and what's like the minimal you've heard of that you do yourself? People don't really talk
about what they do.
Oh, is it?
It's not that kind of industry.
Keep it to yourself.
Keep it to yourself kind of thing. But people could do 1 deal a year and be well off.
Oh, really?
That's the kind of industry it is.
I've been in the wrong game all my life.
Pardon?
I've been in the wrong game all my life then. 1 deal.
Yeah, people do like 1 deal or 1 or 2 deals.
And then what are they? What's a good deal?
What's a good deal?
Yeah, what's a good deal?
That's broad.
Like, what is a deal where you're making the high net profit? What's a...
that's how long's a piece of string kind of thing. But to kind of answer your question, basically...
What deals have you heard of personally? Like, you spoke to a guy called Sam and he said, I closed the deal and I just made 10 mil. So hypothetically.
No one really talked. That's what I'm saying. No one really
not even your boss or your boss's friend that comes in giving it all that.
No. If you're giving it all that,
you must hear something through like Chinese whispers.
Oh yeah, so okay. A good example is I heard about. So one of my clients, they owned a scrap metal yard in London.
Okay, there you go.
And then it was part of an industrial estate, but they pieced together the whole industrial estate. So it got everyone to sell at the same time.
Mad.
And then from there, they made millions. Let's put it that way. Cool. Because they pieced together the whole thing. It's pretty much a regen scheme, 2,000 homes, that kind of thing.
Got you.
So
they're the big makers. the deals.
That's once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
If you hit the jackpot on that kind of thing, it
Yeah.
takes years. But
Yeah.
if you do it, you're laughing.
Yeah.
Like game changer. So
Got you.
there's deals like that out there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, most people are looking for a 20% profit on what the gross domestic value is.
Got
So
you.
if you're selling flats and all the flats, you're selling 5 flats and all of them are worth 100k,
Yeah.
you're trying to make, they're all worth 100k. You sell them all for 100k, so that's 500k. That's the gross domestic value.
Yeah.
You're trying to make 20% of that.
Yeah.
That's what most people try to do, or 25%, that kind of thing.
So 20% of 500k is
100k.
100k.
Yeah, so roughly around that. Like, that's broadly speaking. People might accept a little bit less. Some people say, no, I won't touch anything that's making less than 30%.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
everyone's got their own little mathematics going on in their head.
Of course. Everyone's got their own thing. Some people don't even mind what the profit is as long as they can refinance and then hold the asset.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to sort out their pension.
Got you.
Or other people are working with the council. So the council... Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's just many
there's
avenues.
So many strategies.
Yeah.
That's why it's important that you understand someone's strategy before.
And stick to yours, would you say? Like, stick to your strategy?
You can
or
do whatever you want.
I mean, like, stick to the strategy that you got in mind, or would you say if you change strategy?
It depends. If
be fluid.
People do different things. Like you said, be fluid.
Yeah.
Yeah, people do different things. Like, for example, I know someone that's got a housing association, so they buy affordable units, they're called. But they also buy developments with planning permission. They buy developments without planning permission, get the planning permission, then sell it with planning permission. Like, you could do anything.
Yeah.
You don't
be
box
creative.
yourself in. You just go with whatever the deal is at the time. Makes sense.
Yeah. Because going back to like the HMO scheme, it's like someone had to be really creative to think of that, because I'm guessing before that it was like you have a house, you rent a house. Like, why would you fill rooms? That's strange to me. Like, just rent the house. Everyone rents the house.
I think with HMOs, they've been around for a while, but it depends on what the circumstance is. So we might not have heard of it, but for example, a really good example that people have been doing for years is, let's say there is a construction company who at the moment have a new building that is going on, that they're building. They need to get their contractors over. So as part of the package, they will pay for their rent or give them minimal rent. So everyone lives together in the same property. There's 5 of them. They're colleagues, but they don't know each other, and run it that way basically. But the actual construction company are on the tenancy. So that's one avenue of how HMOs can start, and student housing is another one, etc.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I was thinking more to the point of like before any of this was even happening, as in like before people were renting rooms.
No, I think it's always been happening. Well,
so yeah, I totally agree. Property is something that has been there since the beginning of time, and we all need somewhere to live. Cool. I've also seen you've been out there doing a few podcasts, getting your name out there. How was that? How did you get into that?
Not even. It's not even like that. So, literally, I just spoke to one person who invited me to a group. They said, "Oh, we've got a podcast. Do you want to jump on it?" I was like, "Cool." And then another person said, "Oh, do you want to go on my Instagram live?" I was like, "Cool."
Yeah.
Like, it's not that deep. But what I've learned is, going back to my original point, is basically, I didn't know what I had in terms of my experience. So I realized I've got something that I can give to people.
Yeah.
In terms of whether it's training or I didn't know. I just thought, yeah, everyone knows that, or you'll learn that on a course, or
we do.
Do you know what I mean?
People
But
think like that.
I realized I've got some valuable experience, and people have trained me to a level where I can educate some people on certain things and help out where I can.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, totally. And I do agree with we don't know our skill set until we know our skill set. Like, as in, like, we can do something that is so mundane, or something that is so, like, something that you do all the time, like just even cooking jerk chicken. Like, you cook jerk chicken and you do it, it's just normal, you do it to feed your family and feed yourself, but at the same time you can start a business off the back of that
easily. People do it all the time,
but some people don't even know that it's a skill.
Yeah,
some people think everyone's eating good jerk chicken.
Exactly. And
some people aren't. Some people are eating raw chicken.
Yeah, raw chicken. No, I don't think so.
But you don't think there's a family out there that really,
of course, but
are just eating just to get by?
Yeah, no, of course, bread and sugar. I've heard all of that. But what I was going to say is what I've learned with, because I was listening to this guy called Dan Locke. Not promoting his stuff or anything like that, but I just heard one of his YouTube videos, and he was basically saying, turn your skill into, have a high-paying skill, and then use that skill to then build a business, and stuff like that. So from that kind of opened my eyes in terms of develop skills. So the deal sourcing skill, I can transfer that skill to create a new skill.
Yeah.
Doing inventories is a skill that people pay me to do.
Yeah.
Or pay our business to do.
Yeah.
So develop as many skills as possible and convert that into money. But if you've got a high paying one, then it can put you in a very, very lucrative position. And people pay for services and skills, basically.
Yeah.
And so,
yeah, totally agree. So yeah, right now it's 2020 and we've got the COVID-19 coming to an end slowly but surely. Any plans for 2021?
No specific plans. I think this year's been a tough year for everyone. And if it's not been a tough year, it's been an adjusting year for you. Like everyone's been impacted in some shape or form. Whether I've heard of businesses being successful and businesses struggling, etc. For me, I just want to get through this year positively, making sure I'm laying the right foundations to move forward. I don't think anyone knows exactly what's going to happen next at this stage, but I'm just preparing for the worst, hoping for the best.
Being proactive.
Yeah, just being as proactive as possible, and just making sure. Yeah, just making sure I'm doing the right things and getting my business set up properly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, next year, I've got a couple or one or two deals in the pipeline and stuff like that, subject to planning stuff that I'm doing. So just seeing those through and trying to take things to the next level.
We spoke before about you setting up a course and you taking consultations. Is that something you're going to work on?
Yeah, in time. So my main focus at the moment is the development stuff.
Yeah.
Doing as many deals as possible with that, and making sure my property inventory business is systemized. The plan was to employ people and stuff like that. So I need to make sure it's nicely systemized, and I know what I'm like. Make sure I know what I'm doing with it.
Yeah.
Got the vision written down, and it's really straightforward stuff. But I just want to focus on that this year.
Yeah.
That's my main focus, and then the training stuff. I wanted to train people on room filling.
Yeah.
I've already been doing training with people, friends, and stuff for like development appraisals. I've been training people on development appraisals. I've been training them on rent deal sourcing, normal deal sourcing.
Nice.
Stuff like that. But that's just friends I've been doing that for.
Got to start somewhere.
Yeah. And it was just helping people out. And then now I want to take it a step further and do room filling because I don't think anyone's really doing that at the moment.
Nice. Sounds like you got plans.
I killed it.
Okay, cool. Okay, that sounds very positive, man. Sounds like you're being very proactive.
I'm trying to. I think that's
Nah, man,
that's
you
all we can
are,
do.
but we're not trying.
No, I think I could be doing a lot more because I took my
No,
foot off
you're
the
doing
gas.
enough. You're
All
doing
right.
enough.
All right.
You can only do enough.
Yeah. I think
Because
okay.
no, because bro,
No.
like we talk, innit? We talk a lot.
Yeah,
And I ring you and you sound like sometimes you just sound like you've been doing a lot.
Yeah.
So I think you're doing enough.
Yeah. I think I'm busy, but you can be busy doing nothing. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think you're doing that though.
No, I'm not doing that. But
Exactly.
I'm trying to make sure that I want to set up for next year.
Yeah.
Well, I want to make sure I've got my systems right. I didn't have my systems right before.
Yeah.
In terms of the deal sourcing and stuff like that. But with this transferring onto inventories,
Yeah.
I've got something that works.
Yeah.
And that I understand, and I want to take it to the next level.
Got you. Okay, cool, man. I'm gonna obviously leave your links in the bio.
Yeah.
Leave your links in the description on
Appreciate
YouTube. And people can hit you up, ask you questions.
Course.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Look, happy to help. Feel free.
I think we should definitely do a part 2 as well.
Yeah, why not?
Because there's a lot of questions that I didn't get to ask you, but because of the technicals.
Yeah.
Cameras cutting out, blah, blah, blah.
No biggie, man.
And we got to go and get that pizza.
Yeah.
Where we going?
Home slice.
Home slice. If you know about home slice, then you know.
Yeah.
It's a nice vibe there still.
Let's go. Let's do that.
And thank you for jumping on the Big Talk podcast, man. I hope this has, inspired some people or given people some advice.
Yeah. I hope so as well. I'm just telling you my experience, and if you want to hear more or have any questions, just feel free to hit me up on Insta, etc.
Yeah.
Links will be in the bio. And
thanks
to Big Talk.
Anytime, my bro. Anytime.
Appreciate it.
Signing out. Peace.
Yeah.